Welcome back, guys. Episode 5. 5. What's 5? Cinco de Mayo. Come on, man. Yeah, that's the only reason you know it, huh?
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. I got you.
Welcome back, guys. Man, first, kind of want to take a little time first to kind of start off and thank you guys all for the support, the following. Guys, we're past 100 downloads with just 2 episodes. Even though this is our 5th episode right now, in real time, we've only dropped 2 episodes in real time, guys.
Big deal.
Huge, right? So, first of all, thank you to all of you guys. Keep hitting the subscribe button, keep hitting the following, sharing our videos, commenting. It helps so much. We appreciate you guys all tremendously. Otis, how you feel, man?
I feel good, and I feel like press the download button, okay? We're working really hard for these downloads, okay? If you don't, then I'm going to take your firstborn. No, I'm just kidding.
Personal.
But no, seriously, I feel good, because again, what our initial idea was that we just wanted to start this not as, as a mechanism of having a hobby, but it was so that we can give back.
Right.
We can give people, a perspective of success and having that alpha mentality, right? So, how's it been for you since the what is it? This is episode 5, man.
This is episode 5, man. It's been great. I had some fans as I walked out the door the other day. I signed some autographs.
You did?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, people still pass me.
Not yet. People still pass you?
I tell everybody I know Jeff.
There you go. Just keep saying that. Keep sending them
tell
my way.
everybody I know this guy over here. I say, hey, man, the guy with the green eyes and the nice legs, right? You can't see.
They can't see my legs in the video.
Oh, man, you got to see his legs.
It's a shame, guys. You should see him. How you feeling overall, man? I hear some sniffles.
Yeah, I do got a little bit of sniffle, man. My kids, they just they gave me what kids give, which is germs. My son, shout out to my son. We don't need a mop in the house. He licks the floor.
Okay,
it's kind of crazy, right? But they gave me a cold, right? And this cold has had me down. I'm at the last stages, right? Okay. So if you guys hear the little sniffle, right, it's not a COVID or anything.
Can we make sure we get that mic cleaned, please? After.
Yeah, just a little bit of, we went crazy with this hand sanitizer throughout the pandemic.
We really did.
I got like 10 boxes of this stuff at home, right? But speaking on that note of being sick and stuff like that, there was something that we wanted to bring up with today's topic, right? Which I felt to be so pertinent, right? And the reason why I say that is because prior to doing in my industry now, I used to be in the pharmaceutical industry for 12 years, right? I loved it. I learned a lot about it. And there was this disease that I wanted to just kind of alarm our listeners of, right?
Not COVID?
No, it's not COVID. Actually, it's far worse than COVID.
Oh, crap.
In fact, so if anybody that knows a little bit about like diseases or something like that, there's a classification manual. It's called the ICD-9. Go Google it, right? It's a lot of words. ICD, that's the 9th version of it, right? And these are basically, where all diseases in the world where they go to, okay? So anything that you can find that infects people, gives them some sort of something, is in this book, right? And right before the pandemic, here's what's crazy about this. Right before the pandemic, scientists and doctors were in a massive frenzy. So this was before the pandemic, okay? They were already talking about adding this because they just didn't know how to classify it.
Wait, so are you saying that I probably caught something from these kids when I was teaching them or what?
Depends, right? Because it's genetically, right? And it's highly contagious as well, too, right? In fact, as of 2022, the pandemic is kind of simmering down, right? A little bit. As of 2022, check this out. I want to read this to you, right? It's bigger than COVID, the bubonic plague, and also cancer combined.
Dear Lord, what is it?
Well, here's the crazy thing about this, right? So listen to this. I need to read this. I got this right out of the Science journal here, right? It says, as of 2022, this disease was added to the list because not only is it spreading across the United States, but it's also spreading rampantly across the world. Okay.
Damn.
Now, I'm not an expert, okay, but I do have a little bit of perspective in the, in 2009, I worked in the pharmacy, and I was going through the swine flu and stuff, and I remember just like the beginning hearing of this, right? It was kind of crazy. I guess it's, as I was growing up with it. But check this out. So since it's been spreading so rapidly, at 2022, this year, beginning of this year, right? Because now it's starting not to just affect adults, it's starting hereditarily to pass down, like through genetics and stuff, right? This disease is crazy, okay? You know the name of it?
You're getting me excited. What is it? I need to know.
Well, our listeners should know that this because they're probably being affected by this too. It's called excuse-itis. Excuse-itis is plaguing the world right now, right? You know, I know, you know, for all fun and jokes, right?
Mhm.
But excuse-itis, right? Like realistically, this is like a real disease. It's probably
it really is.
it probably should really be in this IC. By the way, the journal was not written for this, everybody.
So we're gonna go look it up. Like, what is this ICD-9? Whatever you
Yeah,
said.
don't crash your car listening to this. You know, don't stop your workout, right? It's a real plague. It's a real condition, but it is not a disease. All disclaimers. So if you're listening to this, please don't sue us for anything like that, right? So excuse-itis, man. Why do we live in this world of making excuses, Jeff?
Because it is accepted. Everyone does it.
It
right?
is. It is.
Everyone thinks it's okay. Well, I do this and I do that, and okay. And we let people sell us on that.
That's
right?
true. You know what's funny is that I was once told, and maybe everybody's heard this, is that excuses they don't serve you. They only weaken your character. And they say money and excuses, they don't mix. They're kind of like oil and water, right?
Yep.
So I do, however, well, we have a correction. We have a vaccination for excuse-itis.
Another vaccination, people, get ready.
That's it, man. Everybody is coming to a government near you. Everybody, mandatory. We're
gonna promote this one hard too. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I approve of vaccinating your kids with this. Okay. So so I'm gonna give you the actual name of the vaccine. Okay. And then we're gonna go into the ingredients of it. Okay.
Let's do it.
The vaccination is called I.D.G.A.F.
Oh, I don't give a.
No.
Oh.
Come on, Jeff. We can't say that on air, okay?
Damn.
We can't say fantastic. That's what the
I
F
was
stands
ready.
for, right?
I was like, I know this one.
You guys tell we're having a little bit of fun here today, right? But realistically, so the vaccination for excuse-itis is I.D.G.A.F, not the I.D.G.A.F that most of us are familiar with, right? Not the, you don't give a frankly care of
there you go.
what people think about, right? But we do have a breakdown of I.D.G.A.F, right? And the ingredients, right? And I believe that if you take this, I don't know, maybe 3 times a day, then we'll be able to keep that excuse-itis away, right? So that's define what I.D.G.A.F is, right? So we want to break this down for you because I feel like there's going to be such such a focal point on this, and realistically, we're having fun, we're joking, but on a serious note, right? I think that if you guys get a really, really great digestion of what we're talking about, it's going to free you, right? So let's kick it off, right? What does the I stand for in I.D.G.A.F for you?
I.D.G.A.F. The I is. This one's a little tough.
It's tough. It's tough. All right, maybe it's the intentionality.
Intentionality.
Right. So intentional, right? I think so within I.D.G.A.F, being intentional. Describe to me, because we were talking about this a little bit the other day. We were talking about, being intentional in everything that you do, right? What does that mean to you when we talk about being intentional?
Well, I think there's 2 types of people, right? When it comes to being intentional and not being intentional, right? You have the people, I'll give you an example, the people that go to work every day. Show up to go to work, they do their job, they go home. Then you have the people that are intentional when they go to work. They are intentional in everything that they are doing. Those are the people that reach the level of success that other people kind of take as, oh, well, they got lucky. They see it, right? Everyone always sees the end game, but no one sees all the hard work, all that intentional work that person put in to reach that pinnacle of success.
That's really, man, listen, take notes right there, right? Whenever you see me do this on camera, that means take notes, right? And if you hear my voice, actually, absolutely take notes. But becoming more intentional about what you do, my wife and I, we've been together for 16 years, okay? Well, it'll be 16 years in September. Guys, we always over-exaggerate. So.
I'm about to hit 2 years, and it feels like 5 years.
Oh, man, well, it's shout out to our camera woman, his lovely wife. Crenshaw, Slauson. But becoming intentional in everything that you do. You see, in my relationships, sure, we can just exist, but when we exist with absolute intention on anything that we do, it just makes it a lot more clear, and it makes our relationship just much more boisterous. It flourishes, right? And I think that, this can be tied to any career. If you're an entrepreneur and you're becoming more intentional about what you do, it's one thing to show up and just do something. Right? But if you have a clear, identified focal point on why you're doing it, number one, It's have you ever seen when they do like that side by side, of what success may look like, right? And they show like a straight line,
Right.
and then they show what it really is a bunch of squiggly lines and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, right? Well, the squiggly line is because people they operate in this mode of not being very clear on what they want to do because they're not intentional,
Right.
right? So intentionality is something that I think again is part of a remedy where if we all got to this understanding, man, it would make things a lot easier for your success on what you're trying to do, right? So that's the I. The D is discipline, right?
Discipline.
So talk to the audience. I think with what you've been doing, you've had, we're pretty young. My birthday was just yesterday.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, brother. Another day on God's green earth. But the discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some ways the discipline has carried you in life to where you've been able to, reach the heights of success that you've had or anything that you set out to do? Where's discipline been an area where you've been able to use that to assist you with what you're trying to accomplish?
I think discipline, I see it a lot applied in my dog training business.
Okay.
Right. So, what I've really noticed and I've started to kind of take note on is the most disciplined dogs that come to me are not because the dogs are smart, it's because the owners are disciplined themselves. Right. So, and I always tell this to every owner, hey, when you come to train, I'm not training your dog, I'm training you. How disciplined can you be in training your dog, right? And I'll give you just a few examples, right? A lot of people talk about their dog. Oh, well, my dog doesn't always sit when we're walking or whenever I come to a stop. They always run through a door, whatever the case may be. So I always ask them, okay, how intentional and how disciplined are you every time you open that door? Do you make your dog sit? Well, not all the time. So there you go. So why when you want it to happen, why do you think the dog's going to do it? You aren't disciplined, but you're expecting your dog to be disciplined. Right. Wow. So when you're able to bring that discipline to the owner, you notice it in the dog big time.
Wow. Listen, that just gave me goosebumps. You can't see this, but
I see
goosebumps
it.
are right here because when we mentioned in the beginning how this starts off with how this excuse-itis, how it can be passed down from generation to generation. I like the way where you just mentioned how you have to train this person in order to have this person have an effect, right? And I give you a real life example. My mother and father, awesome people, right? My dad, he was the hardest working man ever. Okay, hardest working man I know. My mom, she kind of worked. My mother was smart about working, right?
Okay.
But so I got disciplines from both of them. And for the longest time of my life, I would be late to everything. And people, I could just tell I just tick people off. And I had to retrain my disciplines, right? So instead of being just showing up on time or being late, 5-10 minutes, I would show up, 10-15 minutes earlier. And now these disciplines, they're earlier in my life. In fact, my kids, when we're getting ready to go somewhere, they say, Daddy, we're late. If they know like church, we get ready to go to church, 11 o'clock, 10:30, that means we're on time.
That's huge because it's very hard to get kids to be disciplined like that, especially when it comes to time.
Oh yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter, she's really big on that, right? So discipline. Another reason why discipline makes so much sense, right? Is because I think that we want so many different things in life.
Right.
Yeah. We want to become the best dad, we want to be the best at the sport that we play, the best mom, or whatever it is, whatever industry that you're in, right? But I want you all to take note of this, right? Is that variety is the spice of life, but it takes monotony and discipline to finance it. So whatever you do, right, you have to do it through mundane action, right? That's the disciplines of your life, right? I'm about to get fired up.
I'm getting fired up.
Bit, right?
That one smacked me across the face.
But no, it's true. It's true, right? I mean, again, you're going to have to do the same thing over and over every day and shut up about the results. That's what discipline. Mike Tyson, remember that video I just sent you?
Yeah.
What did it say? It says something about discipline is learning to do the things that you don't like. No, he said learning to love the things that you don't like, right?
Yep.
That's discipline, right? So that's another part of the vaccination right here, right? So we're going to vaccinate all of the kids and families of America, and then we're going to move this thing across the world, right? So we got the I, we got the D, now we have the G. The G, not in you, the G in me. So G is a representation of goals.
Goals.
Okay? So goals. Speak to goals really quick.
Without goals, you're wandering through life aimlessly, right? The goals is what sets the great ones apart. You know, a lot of people can be, you know, wandering through life. Oh, I want this, I want that. But if you have no goal to achieve it, if you have no system in place to achieve that goal, it's aimless. There is no purpose, there is no direction.
Oh my God. I almost just got up and just walked away right there, man. That was so fire. Stop the tape, rewind it, right? Go back to that. You know, I was mentioned to by a mentor of mine some time ago. He said that in the absence of clearly defined goals, human beings become addicted to meaningless goals, which means that things they jump in and out of our life, right? Have you ever been getting ready to do something like big and you just like you never do it because you get distracted by little things along the way?
It happens to a lot of us. Yeah.
Oh my
It's
God,
happened to
dude.
me many times. Yeah.
So again, I want our audience to pay attention to this because your goals, there's going to be distractions along the way. And one way to stay course with your goals is to remember how goals are made. They're created in three different ways. The first way is that goals to you, they come to you in your mind,
Right.
right? That's numero uno. The second thing is that goals, you know, you have to transfer them from your mind and you have to transfer them on something that you write down, your goals, right? You know, our brains are like cell phones, right?
Mhm.
They only do what you tell them to do. You know, you press send, you call your mom,
Right,
that's what the
right.
phone's gonna do, right? Your brain has to tell you the same thing. So when you're thinking about your goals have to transfer from your mind to writing them down. And then the third thing is that they have to be done in action. Okay. They can't just go and just kind of sit in the mind. When they sit in the mind, they don't do anything.
They
you know?
don't.
You know, imagination, we just talked about it on a few episodes ago. Imagination is the preview to life's coming attractions.
Right.
And these are, by the way, this is the inception of where goals come from.
And I think that's why I kind of mentioned too, right? With goals, if there's no system in place to achieve that goal, it's just in your mind.
That's
That's
right.
fine. You can write that goal down as many times as you want, over and over and over. Keep telling yourself that goal. But if you never ask yourself, okay, so how do I plan to achieve that goal? It's pointless.
How often whenever you're mentoring, because I know you coach a few guys on the side, you mentor a few guys, how do you help them achieve a goal? Like, okay, I want to become like you, Jeff. And not you and necessarily the field and what you're doing, but they want to become more characteristically like you, like the foundation of you.
Right.
How do you help somebody achieve success in it, like just oriented with goals?
Okay, so I mean, if you have your goals set up, right, it's nice. But like I always ask all the guys and the women too that I do coach, I ask them, okay, so how do you plan to achieve this? What are we gonna do? What is the plan of action? By when? Right? If your goal has no date, you're never gonna really achieve it, right? So that's the first thing. What is an attainable goal by this time, and what are you gonna do to try to get to that goal? What do you know that you have to be intentional about every single day in order to get to that goal? It doesn't matter if it's 1% more each day, but if you're making progress toward that goal, that eventually becomes a habit. That habit is going to help you achieve that goal
So you're just reinforcing that over and over.
over and over until that habit becomes stilled in your mind. The same way we create bad habits, we can create good habits. The good habits are what lead to the success of a goal
God, can you guys tell that this is our conversations that we have?
all the time.
Like it's so fun to get with this guy, and you know he's somebody who sharpens me. We sharpen one another, and it's just fun because again what we want to do. Our main goal for this podcast, for this show, is to let you guys, number one, know that this is a show that's built by real people
Right.
who are experiencing life and having excuse-itis and overcoming that. It's a show that's built by real people, but for the needs of real people, like our audience, like you right now. You're listening to this, and again, you may be saying to yourself, "Well, I want to do something." Or this goal, or something that I want to achieve. We're trying to help you, not see excuses as so much an obstacle, but as something as a wall that you're just supposed to walk right through.
And I think the most important thing is acknowledging you're making the excuses. We all make excuses, guys. But if you just let the excuses compound, just like money, it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. But if you can catch yourself, you know what? I'm not going to use that excuse. Now you're growing. Now you're combating that. Right. And I think that's the most important thing.
So good. So good. Oh my God. The last like 5 minutes, go stop that, right? We got to move to the next one because we got to keep this pretty clean and sweet for you guys. So we got the I, we got D, G, and now we move on to the A, which is adversity. Man, how many of us are we're gonna absolutely hit that wall of adversity of life, right? So
everyone.
So in comparison to like, I know like adversity or like the situations or the circumstances, maybe problems, right? Talk to us a little bit about adversity, like in areas of your life, maybe a story, or maybe talk to us just directly on adversity.
I think adversity it helps build who you are, right? It helps build a new identity to you. I'll give you a short little story, right? One adversity point that I hit was in high school, right? I was a junior in high school, and my dad actually was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, Jesus.
That one smacked me across the face. And I'm not one that really shows a lot of emotion. So when he told me, reality never really hit, right? But I knew that I can either cry every single day or at least do something about it. So within me, not many people actually know this, right? Except my dad. But I actually dedicated my basketball season to him. So back then there was Nike IDs, right? You could customize your
I
shoes,
remember.
all that good stuff, right? So I had a pair of Kobe's. I customized them. On the inside it said dad, right? The season was dedicated to dad.
That's dope.
I had my best year, right? As a junior. So it was like I went from being a bench farmer to actually starting. Why? Because I busted my ass during the summer, but it was more because I wanted to just do something in support of my dad. You know, like that drove me. So that was adversity that could have folded me, but instead, it uplifted me. So it really depends how
Oh,
you
man.
battle adversity.
I
Yeah.
hope your father hears this, right?
He
You remind me
probably
of when Chris Paul dedicated that game
the game to his grandpa, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think he scored like 63
60. Yep.
or something like that,
mhm.
right? So what you're basically saying, so if everybody's listening, is that the problem in your dad having cancer, it could have went one way, right?
Yeah.
It could have made you, console the fact that your dad was diagnosed, with a terminal disease, right?
Right.
But instead of sit there and say, "Well, Dad, I feel sorry," that's console you. You made something, and you let that power, you let the energy of what could be negative turn into
Mhm.
something positive.
I had to give him something to be positive about. The hell's he want to go watch his son not play? Get out of here.
Oh my God. You guys, Jeff is on fire today. I want you guys to understand something, right? Is that often like problems, they're meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, what do they think? They
Happens to you.
they
Oh my
think-
God, this happened. This happened to me, and I tell that to a lot of people that I coach. Hey, this isn't happening to you; it's happening for you. Flip it on its head.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. In my like absolute experience with problems, they happen to be the the platform for progress. If you don't have a problem, then like there's nothing to solutionize. It's almost like being happy and sad, they go with one another. They're like one doesn't exist without the other, right? And with problems, what they do is that they can build you up or they can tear you down depending on your perspective or depending on, whatever the situation is, because things do happen.
Right.
I mean, it's very often that, we know death is inevitable. And for you to be in that situation with dad and just kind of say, damn, what do I do? You sowed a good seed of energy back.
Mm-hmm.
And then that changed a lot. And dad is about his way. He's still here with us.
He's
right?
still here with us, right? It helped him. It helped him get past that time, and now he's cancer free.
Oh my God, dude.
He's a G. He's living life now.
You turn something you turn, what is it, nothing into something. And again, I'm a firm believer in karma and like sowing good seeds. That's awesome. And you may have sown that seed for your dad to have the extended life that he does now.
Hope so.
That's so dope. Okay. So we have the adversity. Okay. Now we got to top this thing off with focus. Okay.
Focus.
So write this down. So the F is for focus. And focus isn't just the word focus. I'm not talking like binoculars or, you having better vision when you're driving because you're wearing glasses. I'm talking about follow one course until successful. And when you do that, here's what tends to happen, right? Is that if you can't identify one course, try everything. You may be thinking to yourself right now, oh, I got this to do. I want to become the master chef. My sister-in-law, she's a chef, but she also wants to start a food truck. She also wants to be the best wife. And at some point, she's getting ready to have a child here very soon. And we were having conversation just over brunch the other day. And she has another idea. She wants to do some. They want to be like the first African Americans to open up an all black liquor distribution. And she was like, I don't know what to do. And I told her this. We were having a conversation. I don't know why this was just kind of laid on my spirit, right? But I said, just do everything. Just try everything, right? And I think that everybody should understand this, is that most people, they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. So all of these things, they say 1 year, I got all of this, they overestimate it, but they underestimate when they can really focus and they can put this all into a capsule, and over the next 3, 4, 5 years of their life, the shit that they can get done. Okay.
Right.
There's a lot that we can get done, right? So for focus for you, right? So let's say, okay, You got the dog business, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the financial business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give the audience, give them some sort of feeling on how you may practice focuses in your life.
I think the biggest thing is making sure, one, I'm intentional, following discipline. I've always had goals set for the dog training business. So far, legally as a company, we've been open for a year and a half. We smashed our goals, right? We're recognized. People, we have clients in Canada, we have clients in Germany, we have clients in the United Kingdom. Like,
Crazy.
I have clients everywhere that we do Zoom sessions with. So in terms of that, we crushed it. And I think the biggest thing was focusing on it, right? I would always tell my wife, like, hey, what are we going to do next? Like, what do we have to focus on this month? What are we going to do next month? By this summer, what is our goal? What is our focus? And we just set out to do it. Now, we haven't actually hit every single goal that we accomplished, or excuse me, set out to do. However, I've hit a lot more goals because I've set so many, right? As opposed to the person that just kind of wanders aimlessly. I've been intentional about, this is how I'm going to achieve this. And it's worked out so far. So that's what I can attest to.
I think if everybody's listening to this, what you just heard from Jeff is, I don't want to call it like a one size fits all, but what we're discussing here today is realistically how to help you overcome maybe some of the fears that you may have, or better yet, the excuses, because we can opt into excuses. It's very easy. You wake up in the morning, you may hit the snooze button of life. You may say, oh, let me hug the pillow a little bit longer, right? And I know you're big on that. You talk about that often about, not hitting the alarm clock and stuff like that, right? But with everything that we're discussing today, right, you're going to have a lot of things that are going to jump up. Yeah. You're going to have the excuse of time. You're going to have the excuse of money. You're going to have the excuse of people, you sharing your ideas with people, and they're going to reject it, right? And here's the idea behind this. You're going to have the ideas. There's going to be haters. There's going to be dream stealers. But I just want to remind all of you is that whatever you do all of it, but fuck it up fast. Okay? Mm-hmm. Do everything with extreme. I got to do it, right? Because again, if you're listening to this and you're in the audience of between 20 and 30, did you know that you can have success, you can have misery, horror, have more success, have more misery, more horror, and still be 30 years old? And to the person that's 50, 60 years old that's listening right now, it's not too late, right? Just make sure that you don't opt into this idea of that, something occurs, there's an excuse. Did you know that when you get closer to a goal, something always, no matter what, it's just gonna jump up?
Yeah,
like
always is.
It just always is. Like
anytime you're being tested.
Yeah, you are
every single time.
You are. You really are. Man, I'm about to get excited about this, right?
Yeah,
so
I was excited.
I want to transition and kind of land this plane here as I normally do.
Another plane?
Because this one's a 747, okay? Because I think that this is really an on-time type of conversation that most people are just not having. What do you think? Like, in terms of the podcast that you're listening to, what conversations in comparison to, what we're discussing today, how do you see this one stacking up against most conversations?
I think it's a little different because it's just admitting, hey, we all do it, but it's like, how long are you going to feel sorry for yourself? How long are you going to continue making that excuse today, not acknowledging it for yourself? I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, when you hear a lot of podcasts or you hear anything, I listen to a lot of them when I work out. A lot of them show you like, okay, this is what you have to do. But not a lot of them are telling you, hey, I did the exact same thing. I've done it. Part of the reason, I'll kind of go back, right? Part of the reason I said I didn't hit all those goals is because I wasn't really being intentional about some of them. I was setting a lot of them, but I wasn't intentional about each one. The one that I was intentional was the one that I hit. So I think that's the biggest thing. And like we kind of talked about at the beginning of this podcast, the whole point of this is kind of show you guys, like, hey, we're in the trenches with you. We are growing as we grow this podcast with you, right? And I think the biggest thing too, the one thing that I do want to mention is that realize the excuse you're making it. What is the excuse you're using? Far too often people use the excuse of time, their family, their kids, money, but isn't that the same reason why you're trying to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish?
Oh my God, so good. That's so good, so true.
That's all it is. When you start flipping on its head, it's like, well, you know what? I'm not going to make an excuse because of them. I'm going to do it for them. Life can change in a big way, man.
It really can, man. Mm-hmm. And I deal with a lot of people who quit too prematurely. They do. And, and these same people, in my industry, they say, "Hey, Otis, I can't attend a meeting, or I can't, learn the information because I have to pick up my kids." And I get that, right? And that's great. But people should know that no matter how valid, it's still a friggin' excuse.
Always going to be an excuse.
It's still an excuse. You have to find a way to overcome that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is really important. So, on our next episode,
The next one, damn, this one's already over.
This one's over, man.
They fly, man.
They
They
do.
fly. But time to land this plane. So what are we talking about in the next one?
Next episode, I want our audience to just envision this. Okay, don't close your eyes, but I do want you to imagine that if somebody traveled to the mountaintop of China. I don't know why am I saying China. That's what they do in most movies. They travel up these long, crazy, journeys, and they go find the guru. And the guru brings, the secrets and wisdoms of life. And that's just imagine that, I don't know, two guys went and talked to this guru, or many gurus that are up on the hill, right? What these two guys did was that they're bringing now the remedy for success. Now, not success in terms of monetary. We're not talking about money, okay? Although that's important. We're talking about the remedies of success. It's kind of like if Steph Curry were to say, if you take your elbow, put it like this, and bend your knees like this, and shoot the shot like this every single time, you're going to make it. And on our next episode, we're going to be talking about that. We've interviewed some...
You interview Steph Curry?
Oh, shoot, I wish,
damn.
right? Light-skinned people. What's up, man? We got to unite, Steph. I don't have green eyes. You do. But what Jeff and what we've been able to do is extract, from, I don't know, let's call it 5 very influential people. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be getting them on a conversation here very soon with you guys. Very soon. Oh, my God. It's going to be so good. One of our first guests is going to blow your mind. But we want to bring these principles that they gave us on remedy and success. And on our next episode, I promise you, if you thought this one was like, it's heating up, can't you tell?
It's always heating up.
Dude, it's heating up.
Never satisfied.
Hey, water boils at 212, not 211. We're at like 210 right now.
I love it.
We're at like 210. I can't wait to the 212 spot, right? So on the next episode, we're going to talk about the remedies of success. So, partner, go ahead. Carry us on out of this episode.
Well, we're landing this plane, people. As my partner likes to say, land the plane here, open the doors, slap all the waitresses on the way out, or the flight attendants, all the passengers. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you follow, subscribe, like, comment, share. Peace.